This is a description of an assignment I'm giving you today titled Message in a Bottle or Time Capsule Project. This is something we've been talking a little bit about, but this is sort of the formal introduction to what you're going to be doing for this assignment. So far, you've done some research and you're going to be presenting that on Friday. Sorry I couldn't be with you today, but this is a description of what you're going to be working on today to help you decide between making a message in a bottle or making a time capsule. So what I want you to do is explore both options pretty thoroughly by answering these questions. By the time you answer all of these questions, hopefully you will have a good idea of which one you want to choose, and it is totally up to you. All right, so we're calling these things vehicles of communication. We're calling them vehicles of communication because we're either going to be communicating out a message from ourselves to an anonymous person with a message in a bottle, or we're going to be communicating to our future selves by putting objects and messages inside a time capsule that we bury and dig up in the future. So your vehicle of communication for this project will either be a message in a bottle or a time capsule. Answer these questions about each vehicle of communication before you decide on which one to do. All right, so let's go over the message in a bottle. Again, this is going to be anonymous, which means that the person receiving it will not be known by you. So you're not going to know who gets it, nor will they know who sent it or hid it. So the only way you might find out who received it is that we're going to create an Instagram page that's going to have a hashtag. And I don't know what the hashtag is going to be yet. But if that person receives your message, inside that bottle message, there's going to be the hashtag and a request to take a photo of the bottle or themselves holding the bottle and create a hashtag so that we see that someone received it and get some kind of message back from them, which would be pretty cool. So, but again, you're not going to know who gets this, so you can't really intend for it to be for a specific person. So you have to be okay with that part. So these are the questions you're going to ask. Who would you like to receive this message? So this is hypothetical, right? Because you have to have some kind of idea of who you're writing to or what you're going to say or why that message is important and how someone might receive it. Number 2, how would you like to send it? So typically when historically, messages in bottles are put into a body of water, so the ocean or a river or some form of sort of like mass transportation, right? If you dump your bottle into the ocean, it could end up anywhere really in the world, which is kind of a neat thing to consider. And even a river, most likely it won't, right? If you dump it into a river, it's probably going to get stuck up on some reeds or broken or whatever. But you never know. You never know, and that's the chance and the excitement of it. But we're also going to come up with maybe less sort of like out there ways of getting our bottles out there. So you could send it to an anonymous address. You could drop it off at someone's house. You don't know who they are. We could create a treasure hunt on campus to have students find your bottles. There's a lot of ways we could do this. So number 3, what would you like to say or give or create? Your bottle will be made of clay and decorated on the inside and also have objects on the inside. It's going to be decorated on the outside as well. So there's a lot of potential for sending a message either way with words or imagery. Are you okay with letting your creation go? So will you only see who receives this via Instagram if they choose to take a picture and hashtag it to the account? So you could be sending it out into the universe and never seeing it or hearing from it again. And then also, do you want to learn how to make a vessel out of clay? Because that's what you're going to be doing if you choose the bottle method. And your bottles I'm going to teach you how to make, can make them different sizes, different shapes, but they all have to have some type of lid on them that you can seal. All right, so time capsule. So answer questions 1 through 5, message in a bottle, and then move on to the time capsule. Yes, you have to answer both message in a bottle and time capsule because I want you to thoroughly think about each one before you make a decision about which one you're going to make. So time capsule, this one will be created by you with your objects and buried in you or a family's yard. I'm going to ask you to document this process and share it on our website and Instagram pages. So you have to kind of be okay with that being a little bit more public. So here are some ideas for time capsules before you answer your questions. So just ponder these bullets. You don't have to answer these questions. What do you put into a time capsule that might capture life today or who you are in this moment? So these are just examples. You don't have to use them. Your favorite fashion trends from magazines. So that kind of sets things in a time period. A good example of thinking about this is like, well, we all kind of know what 70s clothing looks like, right? So what does 2020s clothing look like? It's going to be very different, in 10 years from now. A newspaper published on your birthday. That's kind of a fun one. Maybe it's something you can do if you have a birthday in the next couple of weeks. Newspaper article about politics or the pandemic. So something that sets it into the time period and the specific challenges we're facing right now in our political system and with our health and the health and welfare of our entire world, really. Certificates, ribbons from sports or games. So things maybe you've won in the past. They don't have to be things that you've won now because we know we're not really playing sports at the moment. School papers, art projects, anything that sort of represents your skill and knowledge in the moment. Photos from now or past years. You'd have to, of course, physically print these out. Party items, a book with a special note, so maybe like your favorite Harry Potter book with a special note written inside, maybe your favorite scene in the story or in the narrative, which your favorite chapter, a song you wrote maybe. Technology. So this is the big one. Consider that when you finally open your capsule, you or maybe a person 100 years from now, what if you forget about it? What if you move and you don't dig it up? Someone a long time from now can actually find it. So you may not be able to watch or listen to the technology device that you put in there. So if you save, a recorded song of you singing something you wrote, and you save it on a flash drive or a memory stick, that might not even be current technology in 10 years or 100 years. Answer these questions. What do you want your future self to know about your present self? How might you represent that in an object, a letter, an artwork, or a creation? How long do you think you should wait to open your capsule? Now remember, when you answer this question, there has to be some distance between you making it now and you opening it, or it's not going to have the impact that it's supposed to have, right? You have to change. You have to change. The world has to change enough so that the impact of opening this capsule is meaningful. Number 3, will you include any technology? Have you considered the fact that you might not be able to view it in the future? Would you consider writing a letter to your future self that you share with no one else except for you or the person who opens your box or your capsule? How would you decorate the outside and the inside of your capsule or your box? How can you represent cultural heritage? What objects could you include? Do you want to learn how to sculpt a box out of clay? Because we're going to teach you how to make a box using slabs. Okay, so you're going to get a good number of points for this. I want you to really think about it, really explore. So you get 1 point per question. So 1 through 5 about message in a bottle. And then you're just going to ponder these bullets. You don't have to answer them. And then 1 through 7 about the time capsule. And you're going to submit this to me by next class period. And we're going to use it to design and choose what we're going to make. So by the end of this, I do want you to have a pretty clear idea about your answer. Am I making a message in a bottle or am I making a time capsule?